These are all amazing tricks and strategies of the Stafford Gambit, and you are likely to win most of your games in this opening trap if you know it inside and out. So, after this capture, we already know this is the Stafford Gambit accepted. D3 protecting the pawn in the center. We have to develop our bishop. Now, this knight is ready to jump on g4. So the bishop comes here. This has been played many times. Now you have to push this pawn. White just castled, and you are setting up a trap by playing this queen to d6. And the best move for white is to play this knight here and bring this knight to f3 square, and that is completely fine. Or you could also play this pawn push. But if white makes the mistake by playing this pawn push, then you have a wonderful sacrifice taking place. You can sacrifice this bishop, and there are two options whether to accept the sacrifice or not. If you accept the sacrifice, this is the checkmate in 7. This is the forced checkmate. So you just remember the checkmate pattern and you will deliver this checkmate. So after this check, king will have to move. You deliver another check, king will have to retreat. Bishop joins the attack. Now you are threatening checkmate on this h2 square. So you don't want to give up more material by bringing this bishop or pawn into the game. Most logical here is to block the diagonal of this bishop. Now you have to spot this good move with this queen delivering a check. King will have to go. Now you bring this knight here, threatening checkmate. So there are two options. Do you stop it with this rook? Obviously not, because this is checkmate in 1. Or you just attack the queen. Obviously this is checkmate. So the only remaining option is this capture with the bishop. But you capture with the pawn and you deliver this wonderful checkmate over the board. So before I start the second opening trap of this wonderful gambit, if you are watching on Facebook, click on the link in the description to watch the full video and join the WhatsApp group as well to learn directly from me. If you have love and passion for opening tricks, strategies and super amazing theories of chess, then subscribe right now, because I keep you updated with new opening traps happening in chess world. So let's see. If you don't accept the sacrifice here and place any random move, let's say this one, again this is a checkmate in 3. You have to spot again this wonderful idea. Now the pawn is pinned, this knight is ready to jump there, so there is this checkmate. You will have to prevent the checkmate by this bishop. If you play any random move, then obviously this is a checkmate and this pawn cannot capture because it is pinned. So the bishop comes here, preventing the checkmate. But again we are jumping with this knight. Now we are threatening checkmate and there are no escaping routes. So you will have to capture it here and you deliver this checkmate. Or if you don't play any random move, then again this is obviously losing. Let's talk about the other lines. After this pawn push, you don't have to bring this queen into the game. Obviously this is another line also. After this pawn move, you could also play this knight jumping here, threatening checkmate. And the best move here is to push this pawn. So you attack this queen and now you will have to capture with the knight. If you capture with the queen, that is obviously lost for you, because once you remove the defender and you try to capture here, your queen is lost. So you don't want to do that. So after this, you would have to go for this knight captures and you go for the forced line. This bishop is now pinning your knight, so you can use the fact there is a check. So after captures, you would see both black and white is doing okay and you will have to struggle hard to get the victory. But in this opening trap also there are many traps lying, and many of white opponent who is playing with white plays this pawn push saying, okay, I am not going to accept the sacrifice. Then after this check, there is this checkmate coming because the pawn was pinned, so we could capture here. there is another possibility, white can also accept the sacrifice. Then after this, we are now threatening to checkmate on this h2 square. You could see this pawn push, but again this is a checkmate in one because the pawn is pinned. Now let's see the other variation. After this, you might expect this. Okay, you don't have to bring this queen here, you just play this knight move here. And now there are many possibilities here. The best way to deal with this position is to just capture here and capture here. And once you play this bishop move, you don't have this checkmate because bishop is already there and you can pick up a free pawn, and that is obviously winning for white. So after this move, white doesn't play this, and sometimes they go for this bishop directly here, which is obviously losing. You don't have to bring this queen here because this bishop just blocks and there is no checkmate, so you are losing. But you have to spot the wonderful idea with this knight, and now you will have to accept the sacrifice, otherwise the queen is lost and there are many discoveries. So once you capture it here, now the queen is joining the attack. You are threatening whole lot of pieces. This rook is pinned, and now if you move this bishop, if you try to move it here, says okay, I am blocking the bishop diagonal and the rook is attacking the queen. You can just capture the bishop and the rook is pinned, so this is obviously losing. So after this, the best move is to just capture here and allow black to capture the rook. Or if you do not do, let's say this one, then you have this. First you just eliminate this rook from here and you just push the pawn and you are simply winning. You can just castle the queen side by developing your bishop on c8, and the game is perfectly fine for you. And black is slightly losing, that white is slightly losing because the king is really messed up. So let's see the other lines. After this, white could also say there is nothing happening and could develop this knight. So you can set up a trap by playing this queen move. Again, the best move for white is to capture here and capture here. There is no checkmate because this bishop is again covering here and white is successfully defending this position. But many times this pawn push has been taken place and you have simply won this match again. You have this knight captures here and you are attacking the queen. So you would have to give up this rook here. If you don't give up, just play this queen here, pinning your queen. Then you can deliver the wonderful checkmate in 3. You just deliver a check from here. Once the king moved, because this was a double check, so you will have to move the king and you can't capture the queen. So once it moves anywhere, you just block the diagonal of the queen, deliver a check with the queen, and once it goes here, this is the wonderful checkmate you see over the board. Now let's see the other variations. After this, you would have to go for this rook captures, and you don't have to capture with the queen because that is not the strongest move. You can capture with the bishop, and if you come here, let's say, then this is checkmate in 3. You can just sacrifice the bishop, and once you accept the sacrifice or you play any random move, let's say you played anything, then you can just deliver a check and this is a checkmate. So you will have to accept the sacrifice because this is forced, and again this check, and the queen captures the pawn. This is a wonderful checkmate. The other line is also there. If you go here, again the same happens because you just capture here, and if you accept the sacrifice, this is a checkmate in 1. Now let's see the other lines. After you capture with the bishop, the king can also go here, then you bring the bishop back. Now you are threatening checkmate in 1. So you might see this queen coming here offering the queen trade, but you have a stunning move. Now you capture the pawn. Now you are threatening checkmate. So you are sacrificing the queen? Obviously not. If you accept the sacrifice, there is this checkmate coming. So you don't want to accept the sacrifice after you capture here. So you would have to play this move, and After this, you just trade the queens and the game is simply over for white because you just castle queen side and you are having the bishop pair, and also you are the exchange up and the king side is very bad. So how was the video? I will see you in my next video with next lesson. And if you want to learn from me, just join the class.